Hello.
Hello, welcome to the stream.
Thank you.
All right. So, anything I should know about Wigglebird before I get started in playing?
Uh, I made it in 6 hours. That's it, really.
All right. Oh, um, nice. And this was made in GameMaker Studio 2, is that right?
Yeah, that's pretty much all I can code in. I've been using it for about 2 years.
Hello. Okay, I'm trying to get a handle on the controls, which this is going to be one of those games that's next to impossible for me to talk and play at the same time. So sorry in advance about that. Would you like to introduce yourself to everyone? And I guess you are the solo developer on this project. Is that right?
Pretty much, yeah, apart from my friend Jeremy, who's a playtester.
All right. Um, what is your preferred alias, by the way? Sammy makes games?
Just call me Sam.
Sam, cool. Well, thank you so much for submitting your game. Can you talk a little bit about the inspiration behind it?
The inspiration was mainly the Snake game on Google that you can
Hmm.
play. Because it's quite cartoony, and I just wondered what that would be like in 360. But
Interesting.
then I had to implement the theme, obviously, so I thought kind of difficult controls would manage to fit that in.
Okay, when I saw this game in the preview, I thought it was actually going to be a different sort of game. I thought the numbers referred to like how often you could make the inputs. I didn't realize that it's mostly, and it is like Snake as well. You have to avoid your own tail.
Hmm.
Okay. Whoa. Gosh, yeah, this is definitely very challenging for me to play and try to talk at the same time. But oh, come on, Lurk Not Allied, chirping the Xbox 360. I had fun playing Halo on that console. I will have you know.
Oh yeah.
I only played Halo on that console, but that's not true. I did buy a copy of Portal 2 and got to play it co-op because local co-op on consoles is a awesome thing. So
I played Portal 2 years ago. That's what made me want to make games.
oh, you know what? Sorry, you know what? Lurk Not Alive was actually making a joke there of like turning 360 degrees would make you face the Xbox again, as Propagation Stream points out. But yes, indeed, that was the joke. And I didn't pick up on it because when you said walk away, somehow that equated in my brain. Um, anyway, so you managed to make this game in just 6 hours. Was that 6 hours total, or was that just like a mad 6 hour development just
Just
today?
max 6 hours today because I was busy at the weekend.
Wow. Well, well done for finishing. I think 6 hours is less time than I've ever spent on a game jam. The projects that I make always end up just being a little too elaborate in the level design, or something ends up making it take like I don't think I've spent any less than 12 hours on a jam project. So to turn
12
out
hours.
something, yeah,
Wow.
yeah, I mean that's me working through a weekend, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, as propagation stream points out, scope creep always gets to you. I wouldn't say that scope creep is my problem per se. It's that I have an idea of what I'm going to make, and then I have a lot of features that I'm willing to ditch in order to finish the game on time.
Hmm.
But yeah, gems are an excellent way to really get a sense of what you're able to accomplish. But speaking of which, how many levels are there in this game?
There's only six, as I've tried to just polish everything more than work on levels near the end.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I think that absolutely quality over quantity is always the right way to go. So I would completely agree with that assessment. Um, this is no, oh my God. Yeah, I am. There's yeah. Lurk Not Lie is joking that there's a chance I might finish this, but there's also a good chance that I won't because yeah.
It
Typically,
is quite
anytime a
tricky.
game, sorry.
It is quite tricky, I
It is
found.
quite tricky because
Yeah.
there's a sort of recurring joke I have on the stream of like, oh, not bad, you made me use 10% of my power, because I'm trying to play the game. I'm trying to
Hmm.
keep an eye on chat, and of course I'm trying to have a conversation as well. So my brain is definitely split at least three ways, and games like this are very demanding. So, and there is only one level of Candle Coffee Courier, by the way. That is the only thing with that game is that we didn't get very far. Um, so anyway, what is there like a shader that makes the that you handle for like the like living like life and death transitions, or is that just manually done?
The life and death Oh, you mean the circle?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's just manually done. I just drew a big circle and made it go big and small.
Okay, well, it's definitely nice and fluid. Have you dug into using shaders in GameMaker before?
Slightly. I've done like chromatic aberration and basic things.
Okay,
I've
nice.
done reflections and just basic shading.
All right. Yeah, I mean that's more than I've ever got into it. I've got a little bit of experience using shaders in Unity, and by a little bit, I mean I copied someone else's shaders and changed the parameters until they did what I wanted.
Me too.
Yeah. So can you recommend a useful shortcut or a clever hack in the GameMaker engine that you would think would be helpful for other developers to know?
Um, I think it goes for all game engines really, but just like reuse your code because I do that 99% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much it. That's all you need to know. Just copy and paste.
Very true. Very true. So what sort of code did you reuse for this project?
Um, just the movement code as in Ludum Dare 47, I published a very similar game with similar movement called Paper Planes.
Oh, I see. Okay. Oh my gosh. It is like, Lurk not lie, you don't say. Try avoiding the walls. I would like you to try this and just see. It is sort of like a weird mix of tank controls and, oh my god.
It does
It's
help to
really
avoid the
difficult.
walls.
Yeah, yeah, I think that is chief among my priorities, believe it or not. Okay, this is definitely the sort of thing where because the inputs are fixed and there's nothing to like actively avoid, I would probably have an easier time of writing an auto hotkey script to complete this.
What controls you use? Oh, there you go.
I'm just using left and right on the keyboard
A lot of people have found it easier just to press right
just to
or
press
just
right,
yeah.
but don't you just go in a circle and die?
No, you can counteract it.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because I end up sort of like spamming left and right constantly so that I can try to make something of a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's almost harder for me to play it that way because I've gotten used to playing it the other way now. But apparently, this is the final level. And oh yeah, Lurk not only points out this would have made a great out of control GMTK entry. Is that what? Well, no, because you said that from Ludum Dare 47, that's where you're borrowing the paper plane from, right?
Yeah, that was for stuck in a loop.
Hmm. Oh my god. Well, this is so. What I'm on. This is the last level, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll certainly try. So do you want to like add more levels or add anything else to this game going forward?
Well, I'd like to, but there's a reoccurring pattern with a lot of games where I make it just long enough where it's playable, but not long
Mhm.
enough where it's publishable.
Aw.
Um, I've done that with a game that I've published on the App Store as well. But a lot of people have said the game would be good on iOS with just single tap controls.
Mhm. I mean, the thing is, I will point out that anytime that people say, "Oh, this would be great on mobile," they are not thinking about the amount of time and effort it takes to release something on mobile. Not to
Mm,
mention the fact that it takes, for iOS specifically, you have to pay the $100 annual developer fee. And basically, my advice to anyone who is considering making a mobile game, unless it is a match 3 game or a Farmville game,
hmm
or a game that you are already releasing on other platforms and it is trivially easy for you to release the game on other platforms at the same time. don't bother. So unfortunate, but that's kind of the state of the mobile market at this point.
Yeah, I've learnt that. I tried
Have
my
you
best
released?
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've released one game called Make It Orange on
Hmm.
the Android App Store. It's not finished at all, and I doubt it'll ever will be.
Mm.
But it was just to get me used to publishing on some sort of thing.
Yeah, of course. I think that now that it's $100 to release on iOS or $100 to release on Steam, I think you're going to get more value out of releasing something on Steam
Hmm.
if you just want that experience of publishing onto a platform. And this goes to everyone who's listening. I would recommend um, just go ahead and use the experience of releasing on Steam and integrating their libraries and going through the certification process and trying to market the game. Like all of that is a very useful experience. It's more valuable to do it on Steam than it is on mobile. Like I said, unless you are already in a position where it's trivially easy to release on mobile. And of course, it's much cheaper to release on Android and in most cases easier to test and sideload your applications and all that as well. So it's all well and good when somebody says that, hey, this would be great on mobile. They aren't always thinking about how much time and effort it's going to take to release on those platforms.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so speaking of your other projects, do you want to give anything else a plug? And then also, where can people find you on social media?
Um, I don't really have social media related to game development, but I do have a portfolio website
Mm-hmm.
that
Sure.
which is the main reason I just make games because it's just good to have that when you go for a job in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Sam, for joining me on the stream today and for sharing your project.
No problem. It was a
And do
pleasure.
feel free, as always, to submit any of your future games. I'd be more than happy to have you back on to chat about them.
Cheers.
All right, have a good night.
You too, man.
Bye bye.